Open your mouth. Spread your legs. Clear. Let's go.
What up, peoples? You already know what it is. Your boy, Pistol Pete. Welcome back to That Dog in the Yard. And today's guest is my sister, Dawn Florio, attorney at law. She's my, off top, she's my sister, man. She's a dear friend of mine. She's been there for me, and she's my lifesaver. You know what I'm saying? Today, it's a very special episode. Because, you don't really often get to interview the person that saved your life. You know what I'm saying? So she's that person that saved my life. When she talks about how she used to represent the Terror Squad boys and all that, then I was her first client. You know what I'm saying? And we fought for 3 years, and she saved my life. And with that being said, man, I want to welcome Dawn Florio to Dog in the Yard with your boy Pistol. When you in that Tampa Bay area, make sure you reach out to my boy Gus Torres, man. If you want anything that has to do with real estate, man, make sure you hit him up. You get the lowest prices and the finest houses, man. Trust me when I tell you. But don't forget to mention my name. You already know that Pistol Pete will get you that early discount. And that's my brother, man, Gus Torres. You already know, out in the Tampa Bay area. Make sure you hit him up, man. Sell, buy, invest, all that. Make sure you hit him up, man, because he focused with that out there. Tampa Bay, you already know, it's your boy Pistol, man. Get at me. What up? You already know what it is. Your boy Pistol Pete, Dog in the Yard. And today we got no other than Dawn Florio, man. Attorney at my attorney, my sister. I know Dawn Florio for a long time. And I thought, the importance of having her on my show for the information from the different perspective. And that's how we're going to do it today. With that being said, thank you for coming to the show, Dawn.
I'm so excited, Pete. I love you for life. You're my brother,
thank
my
you so
forever, heart. And I'm just so happy to be here today. And I'm glad that you're doing amazingly well.
Thank you. I appreciate you so much, man. Dawn, for real. Because if it wasn't for you, I wouldn't even be here, just to let you know. So I just want to, now that we all out, I want the world to know, if it wasn't for this woman here, you don't know what would have happened to Pete. You know what I'm saying? So I want to thank you for that.
Well, Pete was innocent, and, we had an amazing result. And, in this particular case, justice definitely prevailed. And,
Facts.
that just shows how people are falsely accused. And just because of a person's persona and the way that, the hip-hop police perceive certain people, a lot of people are targets. And Pete was a target, and we were able to clear him completely.
Facts. And that was a rough 3 years, Dawn. But with that being said, I just want to thank you, Dawn, for that. Because I always tell everybody, I promote you everywhere. That's Dawn. That's my sister. Might not call you every day, might not hear from me every day, but I represent you. I'll be like, that's Dawn. She's the best one. And we need a lawyer. Dawn. Yep. She saved my life. I don't know about she might be saved yours. But yeah, Dawn. How you been?
I've been excellent, working hard this last year through the pandemic. A lot of people have been on pause, but my business is just getting so intense because a lot of people wanting to get out of jail, and everything is just, so backlogged that, I represent a lot of high profile and people who have very serious crimes that can't get out of jail. So everyone is sort of frustrated. So we've been doing a lot of bail applications, a lot of compassionate release, to try to get our people out.
Good. That's good. Because a lot of the laws have changed, right?
Right. They have, the Criminal Justice Reform Act. The new bail laws came out last year. However, it hasn't really been into play because of the, the World Health Crisis. And a lot of times, the prosecutors get all these extensions because of the pandemic. So we really haven't seen it, in action yet. So for example, The prosecution is supposed to turn over discovery within 15 days, which is amazing because back in the old days, like you would get it maybe right before trial.
Right.
And that like that's such an unfair advantage. But because of the pandemic, they get extensions and extensions. So we really haven't seen it in full force. However, definitely with the Bail Reform Act that they had, a lot of people with nonviolent cases are getting out. Even, A1 drug cases, like the most serious drug cases, a person can get released on their own recognizance, except if you're like a major drug trafficker, which is amazing. Yeah.
Wow. So
because it's nonviolent.
things really changing as far as that is concerned.
Yes, definitely.
That's a great thing. So you've been really busy.
Extremely busy.
Extremely busy, I bet. So I wanted to speak to you a little bit about where you from and how where you came from, like, as far as being raised. What part of New York you from, and what's your background a little bit for those that don't know?
So I actually was born in Queens.
Okay.
And then I'm a Bronx girl, still a Bronx girl. Love the Bronx. Born and bred basically in the Bronx. And there I started in the after. I started in the Bronx DA's office. I was a prosecutor for 12 years,
Okay.
And representing, a lot of like murder cases. They say murder's my specialty.
Okay.
And then I transitioned in 2000 to a criminal defense attorney with my own law firm.
Good stuff. And you've been a lawyer since?
Yeah, so basically, you start off, I graduated law school and then I went to the DA's office for 12 years and then I just had my own law firm since then and just been, going deep.
Beating these cases.
Yeah, and representing everybody, hard body.
Yeah, and I mean, for those that don't know, Dawn represent a lot of high-profile cases in the past, and I would like to talk about that a little bit. You like, what's all the big high-profile cases, and who are the people that you represented in your time?
So I represent a lot of celebrities and a lot of like gang members as well. Like from the little gang members to the top alleged gang members. So and I also represent people who have like, very, very serious cases. Some of the celebrities I've represented, the controversial Tekashi 6ix9ine, I've represented him. I represented all the terror squad if they have a little issue. I've represented Remy Ma, I got her case dismissed. I represent little TJ now, PNB Rock, like a whole bunch of celebrities.
And now that you mentioned 6ix9ine, how was that dealing with 6ix9ine and all the issues that he was going through, as far as was representing him to the time that he was cooperating with the government, or before that?
So no, I had a relationship with Danny from way before he started cooperating with the government. I came into his other case that he had in state court, and I was brought onto the team then, and we were very successful in that case, keeping him out of jail, and then the feds picked him up like soon thereafter.
Right after that, they picked him up. And did you represent him on a federal case?
I did.
And
I did.
How was that? I mean, was it a lot of pressure, with all the problems he was having? And I don't know. You're a lawyer; it doesn't really affect you, but did it affect you? I mean, was it hard to represent him and all that?
It wasn't hard to represent him. However, before the representation on the federal case, he was having a lot of different issues with the people that were on his case, and that sort of spilled out a little bit into me because they were trying to keep Danny away from me and trying to keep him away from anybody that would give him good advice. So that was very difficult. But I was loyal to him. I stayed with him through the federal case, and now he's out and he's
doing his thing.
Doing his thing.
Good for him. Other than that, I wanted to ask you, as far as your time, dealing with all these. Cause me from the street, it's like you like the life savior, you know what I'm saying, for those individuals out there in the street, catching these cases and all that. I just and I know you deal with a lot of federal cases. How is it, and you deal with a lot of state. You go to Rikers Island a lot?
Yeah, I used to live in Rikers before the pandemic. So basically, I do state, federal, New York, New Jersey, everywhere. I go to Rikers. I used to go at least once a week, like every Saturday. That would be my Rikers day, because I have a lot of clients that are charged with very serious crimes like murder or, you know, big gang cases. And then I used to go on Sundays to the federal courts because I have a lot of clients that are incarcerated. So yeah, so now it's very difficult because of the pandemic, but they reopened the visits, and there's nothing like that face-to-face kind of interaction with your client. So for the last year, like all the clients, we had to do like video conferences, you know, private video conferences, and it's not the same, like, you know, not being there, feeling a person's energy,
Right.
you know, trying to console a person who's going through like a really difficult situation. But now Rikers is, you know, opening up, all the jails are opening up for in-person visits, which is great. But yeah, I still live in Rikers, and
Yeah, because I know you stay going to Rikers. How was that trip going to Rikers, going over that bridge and dealing with all?
so, you know, like I get excited going there because, you know, like there's a lot of work to get done, and, you know, I'm always anxious to see my clients and to help them. But it's always sad when you leave them because you know that you can go home and you have to leave someone there. And, you know, just it's a sad kind of feeling going to jail because I know I'm coming out, but they're not coming out right away. And, you know, a lot of the people that I represent, some are very young, you know, individuals, adolescents, and it's really sad, you know, that they have to stay in there and fight their cases. And some will be successful, some will not be successful. But jail is a horrible place, horrible.
Yeah, especially Rikers Island. You know, did you ever have a hard time at all going to Rikers Island? Never gave you no hard time, never?
Well, I mean, because I used to go there so much, like, you know, it's just difficult, you know, just, you know, getting on the bus, and then the bus takes you to, you know, the jail, and then you got to wait like sometimes like 45 minutes so your client is brought down. So it's just like a process. You know, you just got to have a lot of patience to do it, but there's nothing like that one-to-one kind of interaction, seeing your client and going over the paperwork face to face, you know.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, but jail is, you know, and the conditions, especially in the federal system, is horrible. MCC, you know, the federal jail, and
Right.
MDC, that one in Brooklyn, you know, they have rats, they have like, you know, like termites. It's disgusting. Like, it's just horrible.
So will you say that the federal going to the federal system to visit somebody was worse than going to Rikers Island?
So it's like different. I didn't really like see the rats there,
Right.
right? But it's like in their living quarters. Of course, they make the council visits like nicer.
Right.
But I mean, it's still jail, and the conditions. You know, a lot of times people put in motions for harsh conditions when they go for their sentencing because, you know, just they have mold and people catch rashes and everything in the federal system. It's really horrible, and especially now with the COVID, you know, everyone is catching COVID or you know, being on lockdown. So there's going to be a lot of lawsuits coming because of that.
Wow. And you've been dealing with all that.
Yes, definitely.
You've been really busy.
It's been like I have to tell you that this year of the pandemic has been probably the most busiest time for me because I'm a trial lawyer. I'm always on trial.
Right.
But this has been a great way to sort of take a little breather in the sense of not like being in court and wasting a lot of time. Everything is virtual, so we have so many virtual, you know, court appearances, and you know, but I want to get back into the swing of things, back like interacting with people, and just hope
Right.
the world can go back to the way that it was before.
Yeah, you want to be able to, you know, face your clients and stuff like that.
Yes.
Give them that reassurance and stuff like that. Because sometimes, you know, the virtual thing going on there is almost feeling like you far away.
Yeah.
You know, even though, you know, you speaking on them, you know, through the meter, but it's still, you still want to be able to feel you know, like, Dawn, I got this case and I need his help.
So Pete, how does it feel like to be asking the questions? You know, like, you know, because I remember when we were interacting, I was asking all the questions. Now it's like the opposite way around. Like,
Yeah, you know, I had to get used to. I had to get used to me. I had to get like little basic training, a little bit, because yeah, you know, because it was kind of hard. I'm used to always being the one that asks questions, and I'm just giving you whatever. They interview me all the time, so it's like now I'm doing the interviews. So it's like
now you're smooth. You're
it was
great.
it was you know, a little different, you know, transition and stuff like that. But I'm used to it and I love it. I like it. I feel good. I'm comfortable at what I do. You know, I love the show. You know, the show is created for those individuals that they out there, you know, lost. You know, these young guys that like you deal with. You know, that some of them, you know, they might be innocent. Some of them might be guilty. But you deal with a lot of convicts. You deal with a lot of, you know, whatever, criminals, I guess, and
alleged criminals.
Alleged criminals, right? Alleged criminals, right? So, you know, and I just felt the need to have you here, you know, just to give it a different perspective, you know, of how you, you know, how you manage to deal with all these people, you know, on a daily basis and stuff like that, and go to Rikers Island. You know, it must be a tough job for a woman. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, I love my job. I don't think it's tough at all. I'm something that I'm very, very passionate about, and it's something that I really believe in. Like, I trust my clients that they're gonna tell me what I need to know, so I know how to move and how to best defend them. What I love about the job is that, you know, I have the freedom. You know, as a prosecutor, I had tremendous power. I could free people that, you know, clearly whether you're guilty or not guilty, if the cops messed up and they didn't do their job or they violated rights, I could dismiss cases. So it was tremendous amount of power to do the right thing. Now, I love what I do now. The transition was very smooth to me because I do the same thing that I love doing. And like, I'm fighting for people's freedom, not like over money. And it's like a great, great feeling. And I think that I combine my common sense with my, you know, my background in schooling with my street smarts that I got really through experiencing, like being in the criminal justice system. And you put all that together, it's really like the triple threat. Like, I'm known as the pretty pit bull. So
pretty pit bull Dawn in the building.
So I try to always be true to myself, be authentic, you know, and you can look nice in the courtroom and have your own style and branding without, and still be fierce, still be like, you know, I'm like the beast from the East, you know, like I was with my best friend one time, we were sitting in Philippe's, you know, like my office is on 51st and Madison.
Right.
And so our favorite place is Philippe's. So we sitting there and we're just eating our chicken satays, which is my favorite.
Right.
And then someone comes up from me and basically grabs me by the neck. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what's going on here? And it was one of my clients who I got out of jail. And he's like, oh my God, like this woman has saved my life. She's the best. Dawn got me outside. Dawn got me outside. So that's like a little phrase that people always say, like, Dawn got me outside.
That's nice, man.
So I think I'm going to put it on a t-shirt.
That's pretty cool, man. That's not, why not? I mean, you must feel great doing that, Dawn. I mean, you love what you do, and you helping people, especially if they, you know, sincerely innocent, because as we all know, a lot of people get accused for wrongful crimes and stuff like that, you know, because I, you know, for me, for once, but a lot of other brothers out there, you know, they out there, they probably never did the crime, and you know, they don't have nobody, and their only hope is Dawn. You know what I'm saying? Because I mean, I'm only speak from experience, because I've been in that situation where my only hope was Dawn. I mean, it couldn't be nobody else but my lawyer. You know what I'm saying? So,
So Pete, like as an OG, someone who's been through the system, and I know you have an amazing story, what advice would you give like young men and women who are in that kind of situation? They're real young and they can go with the gangs, or they could, you know, try to fight being with that affiliation. What advice would you give them?
Don't fuck with no gangs. Stay to yourself. I mean, it's not worth fucking with no gang. I mean,
and you know what's so crazy is the Instagram, right? Instagram is like telling on yourself. Like most of the cases that are built in the federal system are conspiracy cases.
That's right, Dawn. Let it be known, Dawn. Go ahead. That's what you're here for. Serious.
So basically, you know, like, you know, I have so many federal cases where the prime evidence, for example, is a song, okay? And the song they're talking about, you know, gang members and stuff like that, and their affiliation with, you know, with the particular either blue handkerchiefs or the red handkerchiefs, like for example, you know.
Exactly.
And then you have the Instagram posts where people are, you know, throwing up gang signs, right? And they actually use them against you at the trials, you know? So it's so important to be careful what you post. Don't be posting money. You know, a lot of people that are allegedly into scamming, they're like, you know, posting so much stuff that you're just targets. And most of the people that watch your Instagrams, like from fake pages, are not like people who are interested in you. It's the federal government or NYPD. So you have to be so careful what you post. And if you're gonna do a crime, like do not do it outside, because there's video cameras all around. And when you speak on the phone, be very, very careful, because even though your phone may not be the subject of a wiretap, you could be caught on someone else's. And people, the best evidence that the government has, you tell on yourself. You speak too much. You speak over the jail phones. They record everything. So you really have to be on point about how you move and how you like going to handle yourself.
You see that kind of information? Only the dog in the yard get that kind of information. Thank you, Dawn, for that. Yeah, because is that legal? Could they do that? Could they actually use your Instagram posts?
100%. It's public. Not only can they use your public posts, they can subpoena your social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. things that you deleted, they can get back, and they use it against you. All your conversations, your DMs. And the biggest thing that they really hang their hat on, especially now, like in the Casanova case, you know, like they used his Instagram, they prevented him from getting bail because of stuff that he posted on Instagram. So
Wow.
the Instagram, and that's how people express themselves, how they promote their music. But that's like great for generating money, but it's also horrible because if you are even associated with someone that is in a gang, and someone in that gang does something that is in furtherance of gang or enterprise activity, you're going down if you you do something else, even if you don't even do it with those particular people. Because sometimes you get all those indictments, all the different names, like 30 names. You may not even know anybody on there, but just because you may be associated with a particular enterprise, you're going down.
For no reason. You don't even know.
So yeah, so you just have to be careful who you keep your company with. Who you associate with, and who you're repping.
You get that right straight from Dawn Florio's mouth. You know, for all these young guys out there that, you know, they're running around crazy, you know, and not thinking, you know.
And what I love about you, Pete, is how you're an example to young people, right? You do a lot of community work. You know, you have this podcast, which is amazing. And we have to set examples for our youth, you know, and we have to educate them that,
Facts.
you know, if you can be in the street, you can own a business. You know, like all those skill sets that people learn in the street,
Yep.
they just don't have role models.
Role models,
you know?
yeah. Yep.
And we want to give people a second opportunity.
Facts.
Like for me, success is not like how much money you get, although, you know, I definitely don't like to leave no money on the table, you know.
Right.
However, success is about changing lives. It's about saving lives. It's about giving people an opportunity, and it's about giving our youth like the proper education so that they can be like
Giving
better
them that
people.
chance. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, because you know, everybody deserved that chance. You know, shit. I tell myself, shit, I ain't have the chance. You know what I'm saying? But if I could give the chance to one person, you know, and I could enlighten them on, you know, my story and what I went through and what we talking about today, then it's working. You know.
No,
me.
I mean, what you've done is tremendous. Having this podcast, educating like our youth, and being like an example. Like, you know what? I've made mistakes before, but I've turned myself around. Like I have a family now. I have,
That's
you
right.
know, I'm teaching my children this,
That's right.
you know.
That's right.
And, you know, unfortunately, a lot of young people, they don't have that feeling of community or family. So that's why they turn to the gangs.
Of course.
You know, so if you could just mentor one individual, you know, whether it's a young woman or a young man, that's life changing.
Absolutely, I agree. You know, most of the people that you deal with, are they involved in gangs? Like most of the time, like how much percentage of the people that you interview are they down with gangs or what? Like that's how it is now.
So I deal with a lot of people that, you know, are in the street, you know, that have been accused of, and, you know, I would never say that like are gang members, you know, because that's confidentiality. But I do represent so many people that are involved, you know, allegedly involved in gang activity. You know,
with
whether
different beliefs.
With different beliefs, different sets. And, you know, a lot of people hire me not because like I rep a particular like gang, which I don't, you know, like this is a business, that's what I do. And I try, you know, my very best to, you know, help each individual. And even sometimes I'll be hired by one opposing side, and the other opposing side will hire me too. And they don't care. They just want to come home and they just want the best for themselves. So they're just looking for the best representation. Yeah, but I'm sort of like hood famous. Like, you know, like I started out repping people in, after like I left the DA's office in Mott Haven, Cypress, Patterson. Like I'm hood famous that I really feel I can just walk through that whole neighborhood like with no problem whatsoever because everyone knows me.
You're going to get super love. Are you kidding me? You represented me and saved my life, so you definitely could walk in.
But that's really where I got my start in the South Bronx, you know?
Yeah, of course. You know, I'm going to tell you something, Dawn. What you do is amazing, and you're a great person. You know, I know you personally, and not you only a great lawyer, but you're a great person. You bring good vibes, even when you're down and out, even when things is like when your back is against the wall, that you feel like nobody's there, and you know because when you actually got a serious case, you might have your girl there, your moms, but it's really like you really by yourself. You know, at the end of the day, when the judge calls you up, it's your name they call out that bitch, you know, and your lawyer's up there with you. So, you know, you create this bond with your lawyer. You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Where you be like, you come to have to trust your lawyer because this is the person that you giving your life to. You know, like, who else? The hopes is, I mean, you know, besides God is like my lawyer. You know, she's the one that's going to be there representing my, you know what I'm saying? And try to save my life. You know what I'm saying?
No, that's 100% true, Pete, because at the end of the day, you know, only God can judge you. I don't judge anybody. I don't care if you did it. I don't care if you didn't get a chance to do it, but you wanted to do it or you didn't do it. That's not my job. My job is to help you, you know, get out of this particular situation and make sure that the government has done what they're supposed to do, you know, to follow the Constitution. However, you know, and it's so true because I don't do this job for the money, you know. I do it because I really care about people and I really want to touch lives. So I've been with like the baddest gang member, like top tier gang member, okay, that be crying in his cell, that can't cry to anybody else because of his image, but knowing that he's facing multiple life sentences, he'll feel comfortable to express himself.
Absolutely.
And that's what it is. A job of a lawyer is just not to get people off. It's to get them through the process. It's to let them know that you believe in them and that they can trust you, because trust is so big, you know?
Absolutely.
Because so many people, they just take the money and they just don't do nothing on their cases.
Especially those that you don't really know about. You know, they come from a whole different background. They don't really can't understand. They can't understand you if they're not around that environment. See, the reason you have been so, you have a great heart and you know the hood. You know what I'm saying? It's not like you're afraid to come by the hood. No, you know everybody. So you're gonna come around, you know. And people feel comfortable with that. They feel like, you know, that made me feel comfortable, you know, because we could communicate. And I'm like, I could actually open up and be like, yo, Dawn, this is the way I feel, you know, and I've done that. And that's a great thing, you know, like I said, it was an honor having you, man. I just want to just tell you, you know, I wanted you to come by. You know, I was like, you know, I want to get Dawn on my show because she represent the hood. You know, you represent the unfortunate. You know, those that, you know, some of them might be guilty. Some of them, but I know for a fact everybody is not guilty. You know, you always may have one or two or three innocent guy, young kid, 17, 16, that's fighting for his life. You know what I'm saying? You know, because nowadays, you know, you not just nowadays, since I can remember, I went to jail for something I didn't do. And you know that I went to jail for something I didn't do my first time that I went to jail, ever. You know what I'm saying? So I know how easy it is to get caught up, you know, off the hype. You know what I'm saying? By having a name. You know what I'm saying? And I'm definitely one testimony on that. You know, when my name comes up and it's like, everybody want to talk to me. Everybody wants to lock me up. Everybody. And Dawn used to keep everybody away from me and stuff like that. Dawn used to be like, what? No. What? No. You ain't talking to him. What precinct? Is he being arrested? No. And you have done that. And I know that, you know, so I was fortunate and I was blessed to have you, what I'm saying to you. A lot of young brothers out there, sisters, don't have nobody. You know what I'm saying? They don't have nobody. And when they finally get a lawyer, the lawyer I don't know them. They can't really feel them because they come from a whole different background. You know what I'm saying? And even though you might have came from a different background, you still, since I know you raised with we at. You ain't never left nowhere. You know, your office is right in the middle of Santo Domingo. I mean, right? It's right there with Broadway. That's where your office is at before.
That's where my old office. Then we had a fire burn down on Madison Avenue. I'm like right by my terrace overlooks St. Patrick's Cathedral. However, like I still go, you know, up, you know, in the projects, you know, to people who can't like get to my office, or, you know, I'm out there. I'm in the street.
You deal with a lot of people, mother.
Absolutely. You know, a mom that can't get to my office because she's elderly but wants to know what's going on with her kids. Like, even though I have bad knees, you know, I'll walk up 7 flights of steps, like to talk to the mom, you know, they don't have an elevator, and explain what her son's case is about, you know, because she can't come to me. So it's so important to, like, you know, to really connect and have that energy, you know, like there's nothing like having that great energy. And the thing about, you know, if you are in that kind of life that you're not doing the right thing, you always have to have a lawyer on deck. It's so important to have somebody that's going to be there for you and advise you, give you good advice. Because at the end of the day, when you're young and you don't know what your rights are, and the police or the government gets you in a room, you know, you're gonna crack and you're gonna say things and that you shouldn't be saying, and everyone needs to know what their rights are. And you never ever speak to the police ever.
Ever. You see that?
Ever without a lawyer.
You get that right there from Dawn.
Because at the end of the day, the police are not your friends. They're there to do their job, and they're not there to help you. They're there to build a case.
Absolutely.
So it's so important to know that you have that right to have an attorney. And even if you can't afford an attorney, I want an attorney. That's it. Once you say that, all questioning stops, and then you save yourself a lifelong heartache.
Absolutely, because anything that you may say, they definitely going to use against
100%.
you.
And if they try to put you in a lineup, you have to affirmatively say, I want a lawyer. Okay, you can't, if a person says, I think I want a lawyer, do I need a lawyer? That's not good enough. You have to say, I want a lawyer.
Absolutely.
Point blank, period. Because if you don't say that, it's equivocal, and you're not going to be, the statement can't get thrown out if they try to question you. So it's so important. Your words are has to be specific, and they have to be strong.
So, Dawn, two more very important questions. It's really questions for information in regards to marijuana. Now that we have the marijuana, you know, is legalized in New York and in Jersey, recreation, I guess. What that basically means.
So just to very, very simple, it breaks down to this. So you can smoke marijuana just like you can smoke a cigarette any place except in your car. Okay, so if you're caught on the street and you're smoking, you cannot be arrested now. You're allowed to have 3 ounces or more of marijuana, and in your home you can have 5 pounds of marijuana. So that's huge. Okay, now you're not allowed to smoke marijuana and drive. You cannot smoke in your car. Now the wide open question is, you know, like the telltale sign of like when police come and they pull you over and they say that they smell marijuana, that's like, then they can search your whole car. Now what's going to happen? Is it going to be retroactive? All those people that have been stopped and searched because the cops smelled marijuana, are those cases going to be thrown out? That's a big question now. So, and if that's the case, it's going to be crazy, because all these cases where police have said that they have been able to search and they find guns or they find drugs in the car, those cases could potentially be thrown out.
Yeah, because the main reason of them searching the cars for marijuana, it wasn't for nothing else.
Right, it's because they smelled marijuana, just the smell of marijuana. But you do not smoke in your car, because right now the way that the law is, if the police legitimately can smell marijuana, then they can search your car. They can search the glove compartment. They can search the trunk. So it's so important. A lot of people like to smoke in their cars. Do not smoke in your cars. Yeah, smoke outside.
But you know what's so crazy? That's pretty tricky as well, because I smoke, and if I smoke some weed, and most of the weed, you know, that I smoke, and it's like super strong. Like, say I smoke and jump in my car. Yo, I'm gonna see you later. I just smoked outside with you, and I jump in the car, and the police stop you. You know, your whole
aura, right? Your whole body.
You be weeded out,
right? So you know what, Pete? Take a shower or put on that famous cologne you always wear. You got to do that.
Chanel Blue. I need that check. Yeah, Dawn. And one last information. Not information, but one last as far as prison reform. I want to ask you about prison reform. Do you think that is needed?
Absolutely. For the one thing that a lot of the buzz right now is people are talking about a bill that's going through about taking away the mandatory minimums, you know, on drug charges. So, for example, just with respect to in the feds, if you have 5 kilograms or more, okay, it's a mandatory 10-year sentence, whether it's your first time or whether, you know, you've been convicted before. If you are in possession of, so there's the B1A, which is the 10-year mandatory minimum, there's the B1B, and then there's the B1C. So the B1B, it's a 5-year mandatory minimum with the amount of drugs that you have, and it's a B1C, which doesn't give you any mandatory minimums. But those are the 3 categories. So what they're trying to do now is they're trying to get rid of those mandatory minimums, or at least make them less severe, because you could be like a mule or something and have, say, 5 kilos, you know, that you're transporting. Technically, you could be facing 10 years in jail. 10 years. That's without no cooperation, no safety valve, 10 years, which is crazy. So what the government, legislature is being put through to see if we can take them away. The other thing that I know that prison reform is so like, we need that is with respect to the conditions in the jail.
Right.
So especially now, not only do we have like hygiene conditions, but we have conditions that people are on lockdown, like sometimes 23 hours per day, and you'll have sometimes only half hour to take a shower, to make, do your emails or make a call in the federal system. And this is basically through the whole year that we've been, pandemic. Or for example, if there's a particular situation, if there's, like the George Floyd case, people are locked down. And it is so inhuman to be locked down, not be able to go out of your cell, not be able to shower, not be able to have interaction with your lawyer or your family.
Right.
Those is definitely cruel and unusual treatment. So we need reforms with respect to how prisoners are treated. You are presumed innocent. And the fact that you're treated like a dog, okay, worse than a dog,
Absolutely.
like an animal, and you're locked up with no ability to have, the essential things in life, like to take a shower, to eat well. It's so inhuman. So definitely things need to be done. And I'm telling you, we're going to be seeing a lot of lawsuits because of this COVID-19, all the lockdowns that happens in the jails, before you're convicted and then after you're convicted as well. But the fact that you're not even convicted and you have to sit in jail and not have the basics of life, it's incredible.
I want to thank you, Dawn, for coming.
Pete, I love you with all my heart.
I appreciate having you.
I am so proud of you.
Thank you so much.
And you're like, you should be in the courtroom yourself. You're a great interview. I love how you pull things out of people. Like, I am so
Thank you, Dawn.
excited to be
Thank
here.
you, Dawn. I appreciate you, Dawn.
For life, we're always going to be connected for life.
Absolutely. And I appreciate, just you, man. You're a great person. As a lawyer, you're amazing. So anybody out there that ever need a lawyer, make sure you holler at Dawn Florio. She's out there. Where's your office at, Dawn?
So my office is 488 Madison Avenue between 51st and 52nd in Manhattan.
There you go. So any issues, let them know, you seen her on Dog in the Yard.
Dog in the Yard, yes.
There you go.
Yes.
And you might get that extra love. You know what I'm saying?
Tell them Pete sent you.
That's it. Tell them Pete sent you, and things will work out for you, man. You know what I'm saying? All in God's hand. But Dawn, thank you so much, man. I appreciate you. I love you. And you already know we got Dawn Florio in the building. Dog in the Yard. She took that.
Yes.
You know what I mean? She took that Dog in the Yard vibe with me. And we here. You already know your boy Pistol. What up? You already know what it is. Your boy Pistol P. Welcome back to that Dog in the Yard, man. I want to thank my sister Dawn Floria for coming through. And like always, you know what I'm saying? Very informative. You know what I'm saying? And I want you to know that I appreciate having you on my show. I hope that people out there appreciate this episode because it was very special to me. You know what I'm saying? This is like, I sat down with somebody that actually saved my life. You know what I'm saying? And in my dark moments and all that, she was there for me. And you already know, with that all being said, it's your boy Pistol P. I love you guys, man. You already know. Till next time, man. Get at me.
This that yak music. Dog in the Yard. Pistol P. SF. And this DJ Khaled. Let's go.
I don't move unless it's bands. Diamond stars all in my rings. She don't move unless it's bands. But that hoe, this ain't no